Hello, welcome to my channel. This is the first time I'm actually recording something for people to see how easy it is to cook. I'm trying to make Falooda. Actually, I'm trying to make Kulfi Falooda today. I've tried to make a lot of Faloodas and I've eaten a lot of Faloodas using ready-made stuff, but somehow I always find it something is missing in that. Usually, the way I'll do is I'll get a Falooda mix and then put ice cream in it, vanilla ice cream or something like that. It doesn't somehow turn out to be the way great. It turns out to be a good Falooda, but not a great Falooda. So today I'm thinking of making a Falooda using Kulfi, which is what most probably everybody within the India actually that's how the lot of Faloodas are with. So first of all, let's start with making of the Kulfi, and then we'll use a Falooda. Now again, I'm not making anything out of scratch. I'm not doing anything out of scratch. I'm getting a lot of packets from outside. So I've got a Falooda packet and I've got a Kulfi packet that you actually can get from any Indian grocery store. Just follow the instructions, and that's what I'm doing at this time. And let's see how it turns out to be. Actually, the part of it is I'll only find it out tomorrow how it turned out to be. I'll know how I'm making it, but tomorrow is when I'm going to be eating it, because Falooda needs to be, the Kulfi needs to be frozen, and I expect it to take at least 24 hours to freeze it. I don't have instant freezers like the ones they show on the TV show. I have just got a common freezer. So I'm going to just use a common freezer and freeze the Kulfi and see how it turns out. So today I'm making Kulfi for the first time using Gulfa I got it from one of the local store. What I'm doing now is actually I'm starting it half the way the recording, so you might not, so sorry about that. What I'm doing is I took a milk, just a normal milk, 1 liter, and put it on stove to boil it. Added approximately 100 ml of butter in it and let it boil. And then I added cut almonds, a lot of elaichi, and some raisins in it. So that's how the mixture looks like. I'm boiling it for next another totally 20 minutes. That's what the instruction says, and let's see how it turns out to be. So this is how it looks at this time. You do need to boil it you do need to shake it continuously so that the milk doesn't stick at the bottom. It's almost like you heat up the milk for approximately 30 to 40 minutes in total, and basically I've been heating it for last 15 minutes now. Another 10 minutes to go, and let's see how it turns out to be. And I'll get back again next shot when the milk is almost done. As you can see, the milk is still boiling. Need another, I think it needs another 15-20 minutes, another 5-10 minutes while it will be done. Make sure you keep on stirring it continuously so that it does not stick at the bottom, else you'll have a foul taste of the sticking milk. What I used a large container that could hold at least 3 or 4 liters of milk. You just pour in 1 liter of milk, and as you can see I'm using a steel handle to stir it. So it's hot, and I'm using a napkin to make sure that it doesn't boil over. I've kept my stove on medium, as you can see over here. Let's see if you can see it. Yes, as you can see over here, it's on medium, little bit less than a medium, and let's see how it turns out to be. While the milk is boiling, let's look at the ingredients that I used for this milk. A couple of things that I used. Basically, make sure that you use the whole milk instead of using anything diet milk, any of those things. I personally like homo milk, so I always use the homo milk for my own use. So make sure you use the homo milk, and make sure you stir it continuously. If you don't, then see it's going to start boiling out. As soon as you stop stirring, it's going to start boiling up. So make sure you stir it quickly and continuously, so that, but don't over stir it. You don't need a lot of force, just stir it slowly and steadily, and that will make sure that your milk doesn't stick, and it's going to make it proper. Okay. For the khoya, I'm using this gulfa that I got from the local grocery store. I have tried this varieties before. I've never made a gulfi by myself before, so this is my first experience. Let's see, hopefully it turns out the way it shows in this picture. I actually looked at the packet of the gulfi. It's over here. I didn't see any of those dry nuts that it was showing on the packet, so I added something on my own. So let's see, hopefully the mixture is going to turn out pretty good. And as I said earlier, I added some of the raisins and the cut almonds. As you can see, this is raisins that I put in, and my almonds are back in the fridge, so I'll show you once this heating process is done. It's almost 20 minutes now. I'm gonna add the khoya into that now, so that it is going to stir it again for 5-10 minutes. I think the milk has become enough thick, and hopefully the khoya is going to make it a little bit more thicker. Let's try to add khoya now to this milk. Here's the khoya. Let's cut it out. Where's my scissor? Here's my scissor. And I'm going to cut the khoya now. Oops. And I'm going to now add this to the milk. Now I'm going to stir it. Oops, my stir is really hot because it's metallic, so it's hot. So I'm just going to use my napkin to hold it. It's really hot to stir it by hand, so I just use my napkin to hold it first. Still hot. Now actually after putting this khoya, I can smell a little bit sweetness in it. And looks like the milk has become a little bit thicker. Be careful with the napkin so that it does not get burnt like the way you just saw it. You don't want it to catch fire, and also that it doesn't fall into the mixture either. So be careful if you're using anything to hold it. And you need to stir it for another 5-10 minutes, and that's what you're going to do for now. Okay. So it's almost done now. I think after putting khoya, I boiled it for another 5-10 minutes, 5-6 minutes actually now, and it seems it's almost done. It seems to be thickened up, and guess now it's time to make it cool down before putting in the freezer. Now we'll make falooda. So we already made gulfi, so now we're going to make falooda, and we'll add the falooda and gulfi together, which I'm going to eat tomorrow because you need to make it cool down and frozen it down. So for falooda, we're going to use one of the packets that I use from, again, same thing, I got it from the grocery store. I like the recipes, it turns out pretty good. And what we are using today is rabri falooda, and basically will be just simply, it's really easy to make. Just put milk, water and the mixture and boil it for half an hour or so, and that's pretty much it. The recipe is actually written on the back of the packet, just to exactly, and it's fulfilled, it has everything in it. You just don't need to add anything more to that. So once I make that, we already saw that we made the gulfi, and we'll put it in the falooda, and we'll basically be having the fish tomorrow. So let's see. As per the recipe, it just says add 1 glass of water in 1 liter of milk and mix the content with Laziz Falooda milk in boiling milk. While stirring now cook for 15 minutes, stir with interval, cool for refrigeration. Pour glasses with drip crushed ice if desired. So let's start with 1 glass of water and 1 liter of milk. That's pouring 200 ml of water, approximately 1 cup of water. And next I'm gonna get is the milk. So hold on one sec. The milk bag I have over here, I just used it up in the Falooda, so I'm gonna take that milk bag out and change to another milk bag. So as you can see, I got the new bag of milk. Now I need to measure for 1 liter. So let's measure 1 liter of milk. I'll take it from there. So that's my measuring cup. And I'm going to put my camera a little bit sideways so I can see me measuring the milk. Oops. And need to be careful so we don't spill it. That's, I think, half liter of milk. Yep, it is. So I'm going to put half liter of milk. And then another half liter of milk. And that's 1 liter of milk that I pour in. Now time to turn on the stove. Turn it on and then put it on the medium, a little bit less than medium because it's always going to be very hot. So we should put less than medium from what the packet says. Again, the packet you can usually get it from the grocery store. I'm from Brampton, so I use the one from the local grocery store, and that's what I get every day. Sorry, that's what I usually use, and it seems to turn out pretty good for me. Not sure if anybody else in my family likes it, but let's see how it turns out tomorrow. Actually, this is the first time I'm trying this taste for rubbery. I've tried strawberry before, so let's see how this one turns out. This is what comes out of the packet once you open the packet. That's how it looks. It looks pretty good. It has decent amount of save and everything else that's required for the Falooda, so it turns out pretty good. So let the milk boil and then we'll add the things into the milk. So first what we need to do is make sure the milk comes up to the boiling point. Once it's at the boiling, then we add the mix from the Falooda. So let's wait for milk to get boiled. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a stirrer from my storage and use that stirrer for the milk boil. So I just got this one, doesn't matter whatever it is, and let's have the milk boil. Let me turn on the lights over here so it's kind of dark, so okay, that's enough light, and let's wait for milk to get boiled now. By the way, this is how my mix for the Kulfi looks like. I need to make it let it cool down. Maybe it's gonna take me another hour or so to cool down. It's 8:20 p.m. over here, so maybe around by 9:30 it's gonna be cooling down. So let's wait for that time. In the meantime, I think we should be ready with the Falooda mix, and let's see how the Falooda mix turns out to be. Just waiting for milk to heat up now. Let's see how it works out. As you can see, milk is almost ready to boil. I'll just wait for it so that it reaches the boiling part, and then we'll add the mixture for Falooda in it. So while the milk is ready to boil, what we will do is we'll cut the mixture and be ready for it, so that as soon as the boiling is done, we can add it to the milk. Oops. And we'll nip the scissor it out. Make sure I don't drop it. Cut it properly. And let's see what I can do. Now it's time to add the mixture in it. There you go. There goes the mixture. And now it's time to stir it. Stir it really fast, and if you think the milk is still boiling faster, then you might want to slow the gas down a little bit. Let's stir it. or let's just say for about 10-15 minutes. So it's 8:31 now. We're gonna stir it for another 15 minutes and see how it goes. Make sure you stir it continuously, else it's gonna overflow from the container. So make sure you keep on stirring it until it basically boils down, because you have the stove running, which is boiling the milk. Make sure you adjust the speed of the stove so the milk doesn't overflow or doesn't overboil. You still need to make it. You still need to make sure you stir it and not let the milk boil over. There is also one other reason why I usually use this brand of Falooda and Kulfi, because they usually come with a lot of dry fruits in it, and of course I like the rich taste of of course, and I like the rich taste of dry fruits, so it's kind of really something that I like to make, and it's really nice to eat something rich stuff, and I don't have to add any sugar, any of those things in it. It's sweetened enough. It's almost ready-made. You just empty the packet and you eat it. That's how it is. It's just that, of course, you need to let it cool down for quite a bit, so that it becomes because these are the cool desserts, so you need to cool it down, and once it cools down we can always eat it. So let's look back to how our milk is doing. As you can see, it's almost done. It's been going on for almost like last 15 minutes, almost 8:43 now, so almost 12 minutes, 13 minutes is already done. I think I'm gonna let it go for another 2 minutes, and then basically that's it. And as you can see, it's coming up sometimes, so if that's the case, I just slow down the stove and let it cool down, and then still keep on stirring it. And again, once it goes down again, I'll let it up a little bit, and then of course keep stirring. Part of over here is that you need to keep stirring so that it doesn't stick, so the milk doesn't stick. And of course you need to let it boil, because you need to cook a lot of things. There's savory in it, so it needs to be cooked properly. If it's not cooked, it's gonna be, you won't like it. And also if you overcook it, it becomes mushy, so you need to make sure you cook it properly to the proper extent that it needs to be cooked. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check on milk is almost done. Once the milk is done, I'll check on my rubbery to see if it's cooled down enough. If it's cooled down, I'll put it in the plastic bag, in the plastic box, and put it in the freezer after that. So let's see. Let me just, I think another minute or so, I'll let the milk boil, and then we'll go to the rubbery. Okay, that's it. My Falooda is done. Let me check on the rubbery. Let me just check on the rubbery. Tastes good, but still hot. I think I'll have to wait for a few more minutes, maybe another 15-20 minutes, and then I'll put it into the. It's still very hot actually. I just touched the container. It's hot even in the container. So let's wait for another 15 minutes, and then we can do it. And as you can see over here on the Falooda, you can see a lot of dry fruits coming up, and that's the whole reason why I like this mixture. I think it's a Pakistani company that makes it, but it's really awesome. I really like the way they make it. As you can see, it has a lot of dry fruits in it, a lot of nuts, and of course it's rich in taste. So hopefully it turns out to be pretty good, and we're gonna have a lot of fun eating it tomorrow. So while waiting for it to cool down, I think I'm gonna go back to my man cave, where I'm gonna be watching the movies on Netflix. So let's see how I'll come back in another, maybe it's 8:48 now, so maybe around 9:30, 10 o'clock I'll come back, and hopefully by that time everything is cooled and I can put it into the freezer. I'll put the Falooda in the fridge, Kulfi in the freezer, so it cools down really well for sunny hot day tomorrow to be eaten. I think tomorrow is around 32-33 centigrade, so it's going to be pretty hot outside. Will be fun to eat tomorrow. So this is my Kulfi, and I'm planning to pour it into this Kulfi stubs or I might just put it in one of the plastic containers instead of putting the Kulfi stubs, and just put it in one of the plastic containers, and because I'm anyway going to take it out and cut it, so there's no point in me putting it into Kulfi stubs and making a Kulfi out of it. So let's see, I'll figure it out tonight. And that's it for the day, guys. As you know that you still need to put this Kulfi into the freezer, which is what I'm going to do it later at around 9, later in another half an hour to 45 minutes, because I still need to wait for it to cool down. It's still hot. I'm not going to spoil my fridge. I'm going to let it cool down, and once it's cooled down, after that I'm going to put it in the fridge. Same thing with the Falooda mix. So Kulfi goes into freezer, Falooda mix goes into the fridge so that it cools down and we can eat it tomorrow. So it looks like Kulfi mixture seems to cool down. I can touch it. Same thing, actually my Falooda mixture seems to be still a little bit hot. It's not fully cooled down. Just trying to kind of develop some malai on the top, so I'm just gonna shake it off and put it in. But I think they're all ready to be frozen. So first of all, let's try to froze the Kulfi. Actually, I was planning to use the Kulfi mixture, Kulfi thing to froze it, but just changed my mind. I'm gonna just use a simple plastic container that I can use to froze the Kulfi. Let's see if I can find one from my plastic container bags. Lots of them. I think this might do. So it should be able to store enough. It's not that big, not a lot of quantity, and of course it's very thick, as if for the picture to be thick. That's how the Kulfi is supposed to be, a thick mixture, and that's what you put in the Kulfi. So I'll put this in the plastic container and freeze it off and see how it turns out tomorrow morning. And the same thing I'm going to do with the Falooda too. So let's try the Kulfi with the plastic container and see how it goes. And I don't know how I'm going to do it with the camera, holding camera in one hand. So let's see, I'll try to pouring it. If not, I'll have to put my camera down. Let's see how it goes. Looks nice and thick, which is how the Kulfi is supposed to be, just like a rubbery. Let's see. Time to clean up, so I'm going to turn off the camera and I'm going to do the cleanup myself and then put it back. So I poured into my plastic container. Of course, you don't need the cooker for that. So I poured in plastic container. Here goes the box on it. And the next thing, it goes in the freezer. So do something cheap, as Indians would do. And because I don't think I can put this container in the fridge, because it's going to take a lot of space because of the handle. I'm going to empty this container into my Kulfi container. I'll empty this thing in the Kulfi container and then put it in the fridge. And that's going to be basically cover it up and then put it in the fridge so it can cool down for tomorrow. There you go. Now only thing I need to do is cover it up and put it in the fridge. It's a little bit hot, but I think it's good enough. It's almost 10:30 now. I don't think I can wait more. Time to sleep for me. So let's see how it works out. So with Kulfi in the fridge and also the Falooda in the fridge, I think that should be pretty much for the day. And I'm going to call it a day. We'll check it up tomorrow how they turned out. And hopefully tomorrow morning they should be pretty cooled down. I'm planning to eat it tomorrow night, so let's see. I'll try to see how it comes out tomorrow night. I hope it should be pretty frozen and nicely done. I kind of like the taste of it, of both the Falooda. I just tested it out with a spoon. It tastes pretty good. I believe it's gonna turn out pretty good. So let's check it out tomorrow morning, or actually tomorrow night, how it turned out.